Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So it's been a little while since my last video, and as you can tell by the title, I'm now 25 weeks, so I am in the second trimester. And you'll probably see from the picture, I have started to get a bump, so a lot has been changing. So I just thought I'd jump on here and give you guys a little bit of an update on my pregnancy. Again, I've written down a list of things that I want to cover because baby brain, I will forget. God, it is so hot. Is anyone else who's pregnant like just so hot all the time? Like, there is absolutely no point in wearing makeup because my top and bottom lip just sweats profusely. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about bump. So I am doing a week by week separate video on how my bump is progressing, but I've definitely got a bump now. In my last video, I actually thought I had a bump, but I definitely didn't. So it's crazy to think how now I think I'm quite big, but in a few weeks I might think, how did I think I was really big then when I'm actually ginormous now? So yeah, I've definitely got a bump. People are definitely noticing that I'm pregnant. I'm being offered seats on public transport, things like that. Like, it's really nice. And just people in the street, they just literally focus straight on the bump and then they just instantly smile at you. It's actually really nice, even though it's a little bit invasive because they're just looking at my body, but at the same time, yeah, it's really lovely because there's nothing negative about pregnancy. Everyone's always got everything lovely to say about it, so yeah, it's really nice. My boobs have definitely got bigger. I've actually got stretch marks on my boobs now, and I didn't think I would. So if you're new to this channel, you may not know, but around 4 years ago I did actually get my boobs done. So I have implants, so I went from an A cup to a double D. So by doing that, my skin was massively stretched. So I thought that because I did that and I didn't get any stretch marks that I wouldn't get any more, but I was wrong. I have got stretch marks going all the way from the crease up to my nipple on both boobs. So it is what it is. They're growing, there's going to be milk in them, so they're there to feed a baby. So yeah, my boobs have definitely grown. I don't know what size I am. I didn't know what size I was before I got pregnant. The last time I got checked was about 3 years ago, and I think I was a double D. But with your weight fluctuating and things like that, they just have no clue what sort of bra size I am. Also, I don't really like wearing bras. I normally, if I do wear a bra, it's like a comfortable one, like a t-shirt bra or a sports bra. So they don't really have like actual like 32B or whatever size it is. It's more like medium, large or whatever. So yeah, I've been just wearing like comfort bras at the moment. But yeah, they have definitely grown. Nipples, yeah, they've got bigger, and also mine are starting to crack as well, which I have heard is quite common. In my last video, I spoke to you about a random patch of dry skin that I got on my foot, which is really common apparently. So on the day that I filmed my last video, I went to the doctors and they told me it was eczema, and they prescribed me this thing which is okay for me to take because I'm pregnant. So I've been using that for about 2 months now, and it's done absolutely nothing. It's actually moved from one part of my foot to the other side, and basically it's all over the sole of my foot and in between my toes. It sounds horrible, and it is horrible because it's pretty much just dry skin constantly itching, as you can just imagine eczema is. But yeah, the bottom of your foot. So not only am I heavier than I normally am, I'm waddling, now I've got a limp because I can't walk on my right foot properly. But I did get some E45 cream in the food shopping today, so I'm going to start using that and see if that helps. But yeah, apparently it's really common to get eczema when you're pregnant, and I never had it before I was pregnant. I actually had quite severe scalp psoriasis on the bottom of my head, and that has gone completely, but instead I now have eczema on my foot. The most random place you can imagine getting it. So if you are pregnant or you're looking to get pregnant, just try and remember that that's quite common. And when I spoke to my doctor about it, they did say, yeah, it's completely common. It's even if you have eczema prior to being pregnant, it's probably going to worsen, but as soon as you have the baby, your hormones kind of regulate and go back to normal, so hopefully it will just bugger off and leave me alone. Weight gain. So in my last video, I think I mentioned that I had actually lost quite a bit of weight in my first trimester. So when I got pregnant, I was 10 stone 2. Throughout my first trimester, I was losing weight gradually, and I went down to 9 stone 8. So that is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 7/8 pounds that I'd lost. Since then, I've gone back up to my start weight. So I've put on the 7 pounds, and I'm now 10 stone 7. So I've basically put on 5 pounds from my start weight, but all in all I've lost 7 and then put on another 5, if that makes any sense. So yeah, when I've researched it, I've looked into it and stuff, and it is really common to obviously put on weight. You're growing a human. Not only that, your boobs are going to get bigger, your fat on your belly is going to increase because it's trying to insulate the baby, and you have 50% more blood than you normally do, apparently, which I think is absolutely crazy. So yeah, it's completely normal to put on weight. I'm not fussed about it. I don't care if I get really, really fat. I'm growing a baby, I'm growing a human being, so if I get fat, I get fat, I don't care. I am eating healthy, and I'm trying to exercise, not exercise like doing weightlifting or anything like that, silly. Never did that before being pregnant, so I'm not going to do it now. But if I have the chance to walk somewhere, I'll walk it. My doctor's surgery is up the road, so is my dentist. So if I ever need to go there, I will just walk there instead of driving. So I'm just trying to get my steps up. I've got my Fitbit, so I'm making sure I'm still trying to do the normal amount of steps that I would normally do. So I'm still exercising, so if I was to put on any weight, then it's not through lack of exercising or eating healthy, it's just me being pregnant, basically. So before I got pregnant, I was a size 10. I have started buying size 12 clothing, not in maternity, just because I don't actually find maternity clothing very good. Jeans are bloody awful. I can't find a single pair of jeans that fit me. I'm 5'4", and I normally wear petite clothing because my legs are very short in comparison to the rest of my body. Any pair of normal jeans I buy, I have to probably cut off about that much off the bottom. So I do try and just get petite clothing. So that with doing that, I've just been buying petite clothing in a size 12 instead, and that seems to be fitting quite well. But what I have been living in are these sort of things. This is a jumpsuit. It is maternity. And I bought it in the same size as I was before I was pregnant, which is a size 10. And I love it. They're so comfortable. It's from Boohoo. And I swear by Boohoo, all of their clothes are so good. Despite their delivery service being awful, Boohoo, I think, have the best quality clothing for the right price, especially with, obviously, maternity clothing. You want to try and budget, because you probably won't be wearing this again until the next time you're pregnant and things like that, so you just don't want to waste your money. So I would recommend looking onto boohoo.com to have a look at their maternity clothes, because the quality of their clothing is really good as well. Sleeping, let's talk about sleeping. So right there, you won't be able to see it, but there's a ginormous purple pregnancy pillow. You might actually be able to see it in the reflection over there. But yeah, it's amazing. If you are struggling to sleep and you haven't got a pillow, a pregnancy pillow, then definitely get one. It takes up a lot of room in the bed, and my other half isn't that keen on it, although I do catch him cuddling it sometimes. But it helps so much because it stops you from kind of laying on your back, which you're not meant to do. And it just helps so that you've got somewhere for your boob to lay on and your bump to lay on, and it's just, honestly, it helps so much to get you off to sleep. You know, when you're pregnant and you've got this ginormous bump, it's hard to just get to sleep and to get comfortable, let alone the fact that my baby decides to wake up and kick me non-stop in the bladder just before I want to go to bed. I've actually heard that's quite common though. A lot of babies do that just before you go to sleep. They'll start waking up. So yeah. Also, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen my last video, which is my gender reveal, but we are having a little boy. So I can start calling him, which I'm still not used to doing. But yeah, sleeping is it is harder than it used to be. But I have found my cousin did hypnobirthing for both of her pregnancies, and she found the births very positive. So I've been asking her for a lot of information and stuff like that to do with hypnobirthing, and she sent me something to listen to just before I go to bed. So I just put it on and I play it loud enough for me to hear, and it's just calming. It's just a woman talking to you, and it's telling you positive things about the birth and everything's going to be okay. And I actually fall asleep before the lady stops talking, and it's only on for half an hour, and it normally takes me bloody ages to get to sleep. But yeah, it just fills your mind subconsciously full of positive thoughts, and I have actually started to see a different kind of attitude towards the pregnancy and the birth since doing that, weirdly, considering I'm not actually conscious when I'm listening to her. But yeah, I would recommend it, and I might actually see if I can put a link to whatever it is down in my description bar. Trips to the toilet. Okay, so I work in an office, and I recorded the other day, I just put like a tally up of how many times I went for a wee throughout my 8-hour shift, and it was 16 times. And that is, I think that's really, really ridiculous. And the worst thing is, like, obviously you're told to drink as much water as you can and stuff, and just to like keep everything as normal as you would. But when I go for a wee, like, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh my god, I need a wee right now, and I'll go, and it'll be the most pathetic little wee ever, but it feels bigger because I think where your organs have moved around everywhere, I don't know, it's just affected my bladder. So when I do go for a wee, I feel like I really need to go, and then I go, and it's like such a small amount of wee, and it's like, for God's sake, I've just got off my desk and walked all the way to the toilets. And it's even worse when you get home, because I don't know about anyone else, but I can't walk up the stairs without going on all fours now. I just get so out of breath, and your back aches, your legs ache. Like, going up the stairs is just like ridiculous at the moment, and it's going to get worse because I'm not even that big now. But yeah, it's even worse at home, because you'll need a wee when you're downstairs and the toilet's all the way upstairs, and it's like, oh, should we just get a downstairs toilet? I don't know. Talking about drinking, one thing I have found very hard, especially because me and my hubby are quite a social couple. We have lots of friends, and they like to go out drinking and going out for dinners and stuff, and I used to be part of that. I used to have a couple of wines with my dinner and things like that, and I have found that really hard. Like, I do feel very left out. Obviously, I'm not saying I'd prefer not to be pregnant in order to have a drink or two, but it is hard. Like, I don't think I'm the only one that would say that. But yeah, I'm normally sitting there with a mocktail thinking, oh yeah, I'm still drinking, no one knows I'm pregnant, but yeah, it's not the same, is it? Okay, so this is going to be kind of an icky subject, icky part of the video, so if you want to skip this, then I'll put in the description which part to skip from and to, but I'm going to be talking about discharge and toilet issues. So yeah, I will tell you when to skip to. Right, discharge. So, so when you're trying to get pregnant, obviously you're going to have a period, and when you're pregnant you think, I'm not going to need any sanitary towels anymore. Well, you do. In my first trimester I had quite a lot of spotting in my discharge, so I know that discharge is completely normal, and especially in pregnancy it actually increases. So throughout my first trimester I did have a couple of scares where I did have some bleeding, and it wasn't necessarily red blood, it was quite often like light brown and creamy. But as I've gone into the second trimester that has subsided, but I just have like normal discharge like you would if you weren't pregnant, but it's just a lot more frequent. So I have been wearing panty liners then. I've just been wearing them in my pants, and it is a good idea I would suggest wearing them just for your own peace of mind, so that you can actually see what is coming out of you. I'm not sure if anyone else is like me, but I am a massive worrier. I've seen all these videos and all these stories about women who, towards the end of their pregnancy, they think that they're just having a bit of spotting, when in fact it's the baby has like pooed inside of the womb, and then that can cause the baby to die. So oh my god, why am I talking about this? Yeah, so I'm one of these women who will just non-stop think, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So for my own peace of mind, I wear a panty liner and I just monitor what's coming out of me, just so that I can, even if it's just a little bit darker than normal, and if anything was to ever go wrong, I can say, well, I know on that day I was bleeding and that day I wasn't. So yeah, I don't mean to like bring a downer on the video, but that's just me. I think a lot of people are the same, and especially with my hormones, and everyone's hormones when they're pregnant, you do go a little bit psycho and a little bit like flaky, and just everything just attacks you in different ways. Yeah, so I'm just of the opinion of it's better to be safe than sorry, so I will always check that. And then moving on to toilets, so gas. I never ever, before I was pregnant, used to be able to burp, and since being pregnant I can burp. It's weird, very, very weird. And the other end, I've always been very good at that, and that has increased as well. So I don't know why women get a lot more gassier when they're pregnant, but we do. So that is the icky side done. Sorry if you didn't want to hear that. Let's move on to movement. I had a midwife appointment yesterday. So I'm 25 weeks now, so it's kind of like the middle-ish appointment. And she just ran over everything, asked how I was feeling and stuff. And she laid me down on the bed and I got my belly out, and as soon as I laid down, it happens very often with me at the moment, the bottom of my tummy, just where my bladder is, goes completely rock hard, and it doesn't hurt, it's just uncomfortable. And it was good that she was there to see that, because it had been happening to me very often over the last month, I would say, and I thought it was just the baby was in a funny position where his spine was like sitting at the front of my tummy maybe, but it actually turns out I'm getting Braxton Hicks. And if you don't know what Braxton Hicks are, they are like, it's kind of like a fake contraction. It's your uterus preparing for having real ones. That's from what my midwife told me. So she did say they're going to become a lot more frequent and a lot more uncomfortable, like they will start taking your breath away, which is just fabulous. But yeah, I'm 25 weeks, and I would say that I actually started getting them at around 18 weeks. So I probably would say I get them about 10 to 15 times a day, and they last about a minute each time. But it's literally the bottom of my tummy just goes rock hard, completely rock hard. And a lot of the time it actually happens just after I've felt him have a little wiggle, or I've laid down in a funny position. So yeah, Braxton Hicks, if you're getting the same sort of feeling that I have with the rock hardness at the bottom of your tummy, that's probably Braxton Hicks. But yeah, I can 100,000% feel him move all the time now, and I know it's definitely him moving now and not just like my tummy gargling or whatever. And I can see him moving in my tummy as well, which is even weirder. Yeah, George can see my tummy moving. He gets to feel it now. Now that he can feel it, he knows that I'm not just milking it. Like, he always says, oh, you milk it. But now that he knows how constant this child moves around inside me, he kind of like sympathises with me now, because it is hard to get to sleep at night, and it is hard to just do your day-to-day things when you've got this little one just giving you a quick elbow here and there. Talking about my my midwife appointment, I did get my MAP B1 form from my midwife, which is something you need to hand into your employer. I think it's 15 weeks before, well, no later than 15 weeks before your due date, is a bit of paper that says this person is definitely pregnant and they're definitely due on this date. So I've now got that. I can hand that into my work and I can arrange for when I'm going to go on maternity leave. My due date's the 15th of December, and I'm hoping I can go on maternity on the 22nd of November. So that gives me around 3 and a bit weeks before my due date, because I've got a really weird feeling that I'm going to have the baby early. Just because I feel very big now, I feel like he might not have enough room to stay in there full term. But we'll see, I don't know. That's just me being a worry. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover for this video. So yeah, I'm probably going to do another video in a couple of weeks maybe, if anything changes. If you do want to stay up to date with me, then I'll put my social media bits downstairs. I'll put my social media bits down in the description bar. I do post bump pictures every now and then. I'm one of these people who is very excited about being pregnant, so I do post about it quite a lot, but I don't care. It's my first pregnancy. I'm excited and I'm gonna talk about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and I'll speak to you in my next video. Bye!